All right, everybody, we're back with another episode of the Draft Degenerates podcast. Missed last week, which of course we did right off the bat. We're already missing it. We know
Very
it's
on
going to
brand.
happen. We all have stuff going on, like freaking jobs and shit, stuff that doesn't matter at all.
Families.
Family. Oh, speak for your. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
This is Draft Degenerates.
This is no. I hope everyone had a good holidays, including us here. I know I had a pretty good time considering. But no, we're back this week. We're talking running backs, which last year a lot of fun. This year, it's gonna get fun later. I think. Right off the bat, I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. No, this class for sure. I think we're all kind of on the same boat. As is the draft community. Not quite as good. And when I say not, I mean not as good. It wasn't as good. Just, I don't think it's going to be as good. But that's the nature of the sport. You're going to get weaker classes some years in general. Sometimes it's just positions. I'm getting the vibe that this year is just going to be a little bit of a down year in general, kind of across the board. We'll see how we feel about that when we're all ultimately done grading this class out. But yeah, this should still be fun, but I do think it's going to be definitely not as interesting as last year. But Dalton, Jake, let's get things rolling right off the bat. Let's start with honorable mentions. We're doing our top 10 running backs, of course. Any more than that, I don't know if I could spend a lot of time talking about more than 10 of these guys. It might be hard to do that. No offense to the guys we're going to be talking about today, but, it is what it is. But, Jake, actually, I want to start with you here. We'll each do one honorable mention here just so we can get into our top 10s. But who's one guy you do want to talk about that didn't quite crack your top 10?
I'll start with Quintrevion Wisner.
Okay.
He was number 11 for me, so just outside the top 10. But I think in a more talented class, he definitely would have been a bit lower. I do really like how he catches the ball. He's one of my. It's kind of why I wanted to talk to him or talk about him. That he was one of my favorite backs in this class in terms of catching the ball. He looks very natural doing so. Tracks the ball well, and he runs pretty good routes for the position. As a runner, he's pretty smart in terms of vision. He doesn't really struggle to read blocks. Able to find holes. He has decent bursts through the line, and he can accelerate quickly in space. But his top end speed isn't really there, and he's not much of a physical runner. There's a lot of times on tape where he gets brought down by arm tackles, which isn't going to translate well to the NFL level. His pass protection could be a bit better, so that does limit him a little bit in the passing game, because I think one way he could find a role in the NFL is as a pass catcher out of the backfield, but to be trusted consistently, he's going to have to be a little bit better in terms of protecting the quarterback. And his size is a little bit of an issue for me. So those are some of the reasons that he didn't crack my top 10, but I did really like his vision, and I really like how he catches the ball out of the backfield. So I wanted to mention him, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick note on him. Very similar. I had a 7th round grade on him because of the size needs to bulk up. I think he needs to stay for another year, and it looks like he might.
Yeah, he's transferring right now, or in the portal. Yeah,
but
so we'll
apparently,
is he really?
Yeah, apparently though, being in the portal, which I thought was like all of a sudden like if a guy's in the portal is declaring that they're coming back, but apparently there's some guys that are entering the portal just to keep their options open, but still might declare for the draft.
I'm seeing the same thing.
Yeah,
guys are. Well, I think they're entering the portal because they know they want to leave, but they don't know if it means they're going to the draft or if they're changing schools. Right.
Yeah,
that seems to be the general consensus here. Is like guys who are eligible to go to the draft, but don't know if they want to quite yet or not. If they don't want to stay at the school they're at, they're just hopping in the portal now so they can play their cards basically at this point. So I doubt he comes out. I don't think the NFL is going to give him a high enough grade to have him come out. He's 20. Like, he has plenty of time. He doesn't have a ton of workload at this point. Like, I think he should be going back.
Yeah, he can't be on an NFL field right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like he's just so small. Like I have like the grade I have on him is pretty much like you take him and you stash him on your practice squad for at least a year.
Yeah, to get him built up
Yeah.
in an NFL program. Yeah, like that's probably what you'd be doing with him. And if that's the case, then like, what's the point, right? Like, just go play for more money than you'd probably make as a late round pick at a school that might be able to still develop you somewhat, or at least give you a chance to develop. So, yeah, I didn't watch much of him because I did know that he entered the transfer portal, but I also assumed that again, like even if he's keeping that option open, I don't think he's going to pull that lever quite yet. So,
Yeah.
But Dalton, who do you have as somebody you want to make sure you talk about?
Did you guys have Roman Hemby?
I did.
Your top 10?
Not in my top 10. Not in my top 10. He is in my list though.
So
yeah, he's an honorable mention for me too.
Yeah, he'll be my honorable mention. He's my running back 12.
I think he's 13 for me.
Yeah.
So.
And really reliable receiver out of the backfield. He's decisive. I like the vision and the kick return experience. Good long speed, but my note was too light in the pants is kind of it. Like he's got no, like, for one, I mean, at 6'2", 208, probably a third down back in the NFL. The problem is you want your third down backs to have a certain build, and your NFL running backs, you gotta have you gotta be dragging a little bit of a wagon, and he just doesn't have it. He has his build has no lower body. There's just no. He's so skinny in his legs and ass. It's the only way to explain it.
No, you're right. You're right,
Dalton. But there's no anchor in pass protection.
He's not dragging the wagon.
And he's just not an every down back. Also a fifth-year senior.
Yeah.
I have a 6th round grade on him. I have a comp for him that I like. This is Tyjae Spears.
Oh, okay.
I think I see that. Best case scenario for him, probably Tyjae Spears.
Yeah, I think I get that one because, again, like Spears is very much like a change of pace, like has good athleticism, but just isn't really much of an every down back. It's just doesn't have the power element to his game, really. Like he runs hard, and I think so does Hemby, but it just doesn't get him a lot because he's just not very big.
He doesn't have the pass protection, really.
No, not really, no. So, yeah, I like that, though. He was in my list as well, but he was near the bottom there, too.
Yeah. He runs very like upright too.
Yeah,
having not a very strong lower body, like he doesn't really.
Yeah, you'd like to see him maybe run with a little bit more forward lean, but again, talking about a guy who's probably a day 3 prospect, so that makes sense. My guy that I have to talk about, and this goes into like I would argue maybe isn't technically a running back, but like also I don't know where you play him ultimately, but I'm curious because he did declare Desmond Reed out of Pitt. He's very fun to watch, but he had more receiving yards than rushing yards at Pitt last year, and also didn't play a ton because of injury. So like, I don't fully know what to do with him. I think he is a very like explosive playmaker, but he's listed. I think it was 175 maybe is what he's listed at. Let me pull it back up here actually because I didn't note that down, but yeah, he's listed 5'8", 175.
Ew.
That's just small. But
that's not an NFL player, period.
But if he's like especially like a fit player or like a kind of one of those types of guys that give snaps to in creative ways, like he has the explosiveness, I think, to be a part of an NFL offense. It's just where do you play him and how do you use him? Does have return skills too, so like you could use him in that part of the game, but he's just again small.
Will he run sub 4.4?
I wouldn't be surprised watching him on tape.
You kind of have to. I think you got to be like low 4.3.
He's got the explosiveness, I think.
Yeah.
But like again, let's assume he runs that well and everything. I don't know if you play him as a traditional running back so much as you just pick him up like as a late pick and just make him a gadget guy. But his receiving skills are like actually legit. Like you could argue he might just want to play like as that shifty slot receiver type and just call it a day. But at the same time, that's not what he really technically was at the college level. So I don't know. He's just a guy I want to throw out there. He's on the list of guys that I watched just because I was curious about him. Obviously, I'm a Steelers guy, but not a Pittsburgh guy as far as my college team, but wanted to check him out. A lot of people like him. So that's my honorable mention for that reason. So I just need to talk about him.
Yeah, I haven't watched too much of him, but I'm going to have to check it out a little bit.
Yeah, just because, again, I think he's interesting. I just don't know, again, like what the future ultimately is for him at the NFL level. Like him declaring when he, I think, had eligibility left, makes me think that there's some amount of interest from the league. I don't know. Some guys do that though, and they're just wrong. So like, I don't know. But yeah, wanted to throw him out there.
Yeah, I haven't really watched him much either, but your description just made me think of like somebody with Calvin Austin's build playing running back.
Pretty much.
So I'm gonna have to check him out.
Well, that's about Tez Johnson's measurables, right?
I think Tez is taller but lighter.
Yeah.
So like it's weird. Like he has a better probably catch radius slightly, despite being just as small. But like I don't know. He's also like actually a receiver and not whatever Desmond Reed's going to be at the NFL level. We'll see. But yeah, so definitely somebody to keep an eye on, especially the combine. His combine is going to be huge for him, I think. Like you said, Dalton, see what he kind of looks like there. But yeah, if that's the only honorable mentions we want to talk about, we can get into our top 10s here then. So at least this time we didn't have any honorable mentions brought up that were in our top 10. So we actually start with our 10s here. This could get interesting. I feel like our list could be very different depending on like who we even watched, what we liked about some of these guys. Like it's gonna be really interesting, I think. So I'll start off here then with my 10. So it was tough between a couple guys. I put this player here because I like their tape more than actually 10, but the injuries this year in particular is kind of like I don't know what to do with it. Also, it's a little weird. Jam Miller from Alabama is my number 10 running back. I like him a lot. I think he has a good combination of size and burst. Showed some explosiveness, especially in 2024 at Alabama. Like this year is kind of tough with injuries and things like that. But I think if he were to come out, if he has a clean bill of health, he'll start to rise like as the process goes along, and especially during combine week and stuff like that. But the injuries are an issue. Like they just are. Like I think even right now he's dealing with an injury, if I'm not mistaken. So like if he can get healthy at some point, I don't know if it'll be for even this year or if he can get healthy during the offseason if he comes out. Then I think he does. I don't know if he has to come out. I forget it. I'd have to double check his eligibility at this point because who knows half the time anymore. But he's somebody that I think could get kind of bumped up as the process goes along if he's healthy.
Yeah, he is not one of the 15 guys that I watched to get ready for this.
Okay.
But like does kind of fit a lot of the molds of what the NFL does like in terms of size, production. And, Alabama just cranks out NFL running backs.
They do.
Like, not even necessarily good ones, just average NFL running backs.
They do be out here doing that. So.
I'll check.
Did you watch him, Jake?
I haven't watched enough of him to have a real
gotcha
evaluation. But his frame, not necessarily his play style, but his frame kind of reminds me of Cam Scattergood a little bit. Like just like
to a degree, yeah. I think that
I don't really know how to explain that, but
he's just a well-built runner. And there's not many guys I think have the combination of size and speed in this class that you kind of ideally want in a running back, especially one that might be like eventually an RB1 for you. I think Miller at least has that ability. I don't know if I would say that he's going to be able to do it because part of the problem has been injuries. So how many carries and how many touches do you want to give a guy like that? But if he's healthy, I think he'll be a legitimate part of a backfield for a team, and he has the skill set to be able to do that. So I wanted to make sure he made it in my top 10. He'd probably be close to the 7 or 6 if he was healthy, honestly, for me. So we'll see what that looks like as the process goes along. But Dalton, what is your number 10 here?
So my number 10 is Raleek Brown from Arizona State.
He's my number 9. So
there we go. So
I think 8.
Yeah. So I think the thing that jumps out for me is the acceleration and the contact balance, especially. Like he's got a really good burst and he just bounces off of guys. And, that's kind of part of that like short compact frame at 5'9", 195. But he's also proven that he's more than just a little scat back. Even though he does do all the receiver things, he's proven he can be a workhorse. Arizona State leaned on him heavily when they needed to. And you can see that in big games. Like even in games when they're down, they're just handing him the ball because they know they're getting yards. And I think sometimes like when you see how a team uses a guy, it kind of shows you what they see in him. I think that can tell you a lot. The only reason why he's 10 for me is the size does limit him, because he just only has so much functional strength at 5'9", 195, and it does limit him as a pass protector, especially.
Yeah, especially, yeah.
He just really can't. I just don't know if he's going to be able to be a 3-down back in the NFL. He might just be a change of pace guy. But I have a 5th round grade on him because at worst you get a change of pace guy that can also be a returner. So yeah, I really like him a lot. It's just tough with how much you're going to be able to get out of him at his frame.
Yeah, for sure. Jake, did you have him on your list anywhere?
He would have been one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, cool. So I'm a little bit higher than even Dalton is. I have him at 8. I think that he is of that group of guys that kind of fit into this category of smaller, explosive backs that may or may not be able to handle like a true like number 1 role in the backfield. He's, I think, the best of that group in my opinion. Like he gives you the most of anyone in that group for me. He, like you talked about, Dalton, I think the ability to break tackles at that size is something that's just kind of a prerequisite at the NFL level. You have to be able to create enough force from your speed and explosiveness to be able to break some amount of tackles. We've kind of seen guys like Devon Achane and honestly, like I can't remember his name in Baltimore right now, but their backup running back. They have a tendency to be able to do those things at their size as well, like sub 200 pounds and sub 5'10". If he can do that stuff at the next level, like he showed at college, he might be able to have a bigger role than just being like a scat back type of guy. But I think he's going to be able to do at least that. And that kind of gives me hope that he can be a legitimate piece of an offense. So that's why it ends up at 8 for me.
Yeah. For what it's, I think you kind of put it really well in terms of him being the best of these smaller backs. He is my highest ranked back under 200 pounds.
Right. Nice. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat with that as well. He sits right behind some other guys that are bigger than him at this point, honestly. But if you didn't, if he's just one of your honorable mentions, Jake, unless you wanted to add to that, you can go to your number 10 as well.
I'm good. I think you guys summed it up pretty well. Okay. My number 10 is Desmond Claiborne.
Okay, he's number 9 for me.
Okay.
Where do you have him, Dalton?
I did not watch him.
Okay, he's an interesting guy. So I'll let Jake go here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of in that same grouping of guys we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I did have him a little bit over Ralik, but I don't have quite as many like big concerns with him about that size. He has good contact balance for his size. That's something I really liked. He's not going to get tackled by any arm tackles. He can bounce off defenders, which to me was pretty impressive for someone who's on the smaller side, under 200 pounds. He's very quick laterally, and he has great footwork. So I think that also gives him a little bit of a boost in those short yardage situations where he's too small to translate really well in short yardage situations to NFL immediately, but I think that will give him some grace as he kind of acclimates to the game, is just his vision, his footwork, and being able to get side to side quickly. With that said, I do think he sometimes tries to get a little too cute behind the line of scrimmage. Sometimes you just need to go, and I think he kind of dances around a little bit too much. And he just has the same kind of size concerns that I have for some other guys in this class and around him in my rankings. I just worry about him in pass protection. He's a willing blocker, like in picking up blitz and stuff. He's not afraid of it, but it's just a size thing. He just is physically outmatched sometimes, and it's only going to happen more against NFL defenses. I think he runs tough for his size, but once he loses momentum, there's just no getting it back for him. I don't really know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it, but like if he has a full head of momentum, he can bounce off defenders. He's not going to go down easily to a linebacker, but once that momentum gets stopped, it's just not a lot of fight, and that's just another size thing. But I just like a lot of things about him. I mean, he's very quick. He's got good vision. He accelerates quickly. He does all the things that smaller running backs do well. He can return kicks, and I think he runs tough enough for for his size that I think it'll translate a little better than some of the other backs, which is why he did crack my top 10. But yeah, I feel like a lot of players in this part of the list are kind of interchangeable a little bit.
Yeah, Claiborne for me, he slides in right behind Raleek Brown at 9 because I think that Brown is a better receiver at this point. Ultimately, it's kind of one of the big things that separates him. I think that he has plenty of potential, but he had a real rough year dropping the ball this year on not that many targets. I think he had like 6 drops and like 20-something targets. It was rough. And that happens with backs sometimes, especially like depending on I didn't go obviously watch every drop that he had or anything like that, so I can't say how many of them were like true concentration drops or does he have issues with his hands or whatever. As a smaller player, sometimes that's just what happens. If you have trouble catching the ball, you might just maybe smaller hands. Who knows? I guess we'll find out maybe the combine, but he slides right behind him though. He's just in the same mold for sure. I think Dalton, if you watch him, I think you'll see similar things like attributes wise as a runner, especially. So, all right, cool. So that was my number 9 player as well. So let's move to you guys here with your number 9. Jake, why don't you just start us back up here at 9 then?
My number 9 is Emmett Johnson.
Okay.
He was 11 for me. So.
He is 4 for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is one of those players where I was kind of comparing my rankings to what I've seen, and I was like, I'm a little bit different.
I have reasons why, and I feel like I know why you two might be lower on him than me, and I get it. But I also, admittedly, am a sucker for this type of player, so we'll talk about it. But you definitely go first here, then, Jake.
Yeah. I do like a lot of the things he does. I really like his patience. I think he runs very patiently. He's not in a hurry, but he also doesn't take too long to get through the line. I think he just kind of processes things really well. He runs creatively. He's very good in zone concepts. He can get through smaller creases. He's good with like body control and things like that. And he's got pretty good contact balance. He's not going to get brought down by arm tackles. He can kind of pinball off defenders. He never stops moving his feet under contact, which is one thing I really liked. But there were just a couple of things that had me a little lower on him. I think he's not like too patient behind the line of scrimmage, but I think once he gets in the open field, he can get a little too cute at times. I think he really likes to jump cut, and I think sometimes he does that too much. Like he'll try to chase the big play a little more than getting an extra 4 or 5 yards. And in that, his top end speed, it wasn't that great to me. He's not like a constant home run threat or anything like that. And then I was also worried about his pass protection. He plays with effort. It's not like for a lack of effort, but his technique just isn't very good. It seems like he doesn't really read things well in terms of blitzers or like where a rush is coming from. And so he's just kind of late getting there sometimes. But I don't know. I'm not super low on him, but those were just some things that had a little bit lower for me.
Yeah. I'll kind of echo some of that since I know you're a little higher, Shane. I think he should wait another year, to be honest, to come out.
Yeah.
I just think like
I
think his vision has a lot I think he could get better with his vision and seeing some stuff. Right now, I think he's more of a pure one cut guy. At the next level, I think he would be better off. Like right now, I think if you run a power scheme and you can get him going downhill, I think he could be a really good fit. I think in the back end of my top 10, he's got probably the highest ceiling. Just because, I mean, he's still young, can develop a lot, and the acceleration or in the burst and pad level is great. And the fact that he is a reliable receiver, I mean, there is that bell cow potential, which I really like. But I just think there's a lot to work on. I have a 5th round grade on him right now. I think kind of similar in different style a little bit, but kind of similar to how I felt about Ollie Gordon last year is kind of where I'm at in terms of like a guy that I think could be an NFL, like a starting running back in the NFL, but also if he's not that, what do you do with him? It's just kind of like that. I just don't know what he's going to be. And that's why I think I'd like to see him develop a little more.
Yeah, that part of it I could definitely see because he is a young player. And I wasn't sure. I think, did he declare at this point. I'm pretty sure he did,
I think he did.
unless I'm mistaken. For me, ultimately, in a class like this, I just saw a guy who, to me, could create yards for himself that a lot of backs in this class either can't, or if they can, it's only because of something that I don't think will translate as well to the next level. Like, I think he's legitimately a creative runner. I think he has really good initial explosiveness. I agree with Jake, and this is where I thought you guys might be going with him, is where I don't think he has a great long speed by any means. I don't think he's going to create a ton of like long plays, but he can create chunk plays, just maybe not 60 yarders, maybe more 20, 30 yarders. To me, this is a weird comp, and I'm just going to throw that out there. It's weird. But I see there's a lot of plays, especially because he's not the most explosive guy, especially in terms of his longer speed. He reminds me a lot of like a smaller James Conner at times, with the way that he can still get to the outside despite not having the best long speed, and then still get up the sideline on dudes. Because you see James Conner, like with the Cardinals especially, you never think he's going to get there because of his speed, but then all of a sudden he's out there and he's getting around the corner on dudes, and like he's just smart about it. I see a lot of that type of stuff with him. I think the contact balance is really good right now. I think the biggest thing for me too, why I think he's going to be a player that gets drafted pretty early, is the receiving game stuff. Like, I know the pass blocking needs work, but I think he's going to be one of the cleaner receivers in this class in terms of from the running back position at least. He can do a lot of stuff for you in the screen game, and he can actually run routes a little bit, I think. I do wish he was a little bit bigger if he's going to be the type of player that he is, just because I think it would allow him to hold up better, hopefully, at the next level. But, and again, in a class like this, I have him as as a third roundish pick right now, around the third round, like top of the third round, I'd be comfortable with. At that point, you could probably start looking at him. In a different class, maybe he's a guy that I either say maybe you should go back to school, or maybe as an early day 3 pick. In this class, I think he's worth taking a chance on.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, and then I think we still need your 9, Dalton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So my 9 is Katron Allen from Penn State.
Okay, he is 6 for me. So
he's 6 for me also.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I am a Katron Allen hater.
We know. We know this.
I just think I mean, I'll throw with positives. I mean, the vision, the contact balance is great.
Yep.
Good football IQ, and he's got a good NFL frame at 5'11", 217, averaged over 5 yards per carry, with over 800 carries, with almost 800 carries in college. But that's also my first negative.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's had almost 800 carries.
Senior.
At the end of the day, I think that
ageism, folks, it works in the NFL. Sorry.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, I just think that he was and the other Penn State running back that we'll talk about soon.
We'll talk about
I'm sure. And I just think that they had a running back that I think Allen they ran a system that was more suited for Allen than Singleton. And especially since Kotelnicki took over.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of the perfect back for that system. And I don't agree with designing a system around for Katron Allen.
Okay.
But and they ran him into the ground the last 2 years. Like they absolutely ran the shit out of him. And I just don't think that he has that much to offer at the next level. He's very limited in the receiving game. And the long speed just isn't there. And I just think that at the end of the day, he's probably going to be, a 4.5 yards per carry plotter in the NFL if you have a good offensive line. And how long is he going to be able to do that? Because if that's your style of running, you're going to get hit a lot. And he's already been hit a lot over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I just worry, you draft this guy and he does that for you for 5 years and then he's done. It's kind of like, what's the point? So I have a 5th round grade on him.
Yeah, I get those things. I don't foresee the highest ceiling for him, to be sure. I'm not super high on him. I think him being 6 for me is partially this class not being that great. But I do think he can have a good role in the NFL. I think he'll be really good in like a zone scheme. He's patient. I like his vision. I think his build is. I know he's taken a lot of hits, but I think he at least has the build for that, where he can sustain that.
Yeah, the fat man.
At the NFL level, he.
Yeah.
Best nickname for running back I've ever heard in my whole life. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think he has the build to at least sustain him for a while. He always falls forward. Like he's not. I don't think he's going to get beat up that much. I do get the concerns about just how many times he's already run the ball though before even entering the NFL. Yeah, I don't know. His role will be capped at some level in the NFL. Like he doesn't offer, as you said, Dalton, much in the receiving game at all. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to continue to take that beating, but I do think that he can be a pretty serviceable back for in the right role, I would say.
Yeah, honestly, man, this is just a ball player, man. I think Caitron's kind of sick. He just isn't explosive enough for me to have him higher than 6. But he's just kind of awesome in my like. He plays football the right way. God damn it, that's what it comes down to, Dalton. That's not to come off as a boomer right now, but God damn it, I love watching that man play football. No, he's a good player. I think he's a very safe player. I think he's a player that you can take, and if you need someone to be able to just get you positive yards almost all the time when you hand the football, has a lot of power, has enough burst to get through holes occasionally whenever they're open up enough. Good quickness for his size, honestly, in my opinion. Like I don't think the long speed is there.
Yeah, he has
good
pretty quick feet.
I do think so. Like he's limited in the receiving game because of his explosiveness, but I think he's a reliable receiver for the most part. It just doesn't really probably offer a ton of explosive. Honestly, I feel like he kind of reminds me of like a Samaje Perine type of player. Honestly, which like in this class, that dude's played for like a decade at this point.
Yeah.
Like in this class, you might take that. Like it kind of, you could do worse, especially for a guy I think is like an early day 3 type of player. Like that's kind of what you're looking for, honestly. Just to help you out.
Yeah.
You know what? I just realized what he is. What's going to happen with him?
Oh boy. Okay.
Howie's going to take him on day 3 and look like a genius when Saquon tears his ACL or something.
Probably. Honestly,
I'm not wishing that at all. I'm just saying like that's what'll happen. They'll take him on day 3. Saquon will have a career-ending or a season-ending injury. Sorry, season-ending injury. Season-ending to be very clear, or just like out for a while, and then he'll come in and rush for 100 yards every game for like a month.
Sounds about right. Yeah, but again, I really like Caitron for what he is. There's a ceiling on that isn't particularly high, but we love watching that man run, though.
Yeah, Samaje Perine is a great example, though.
Yeah, like he's been in the league for like a decade. He's a good player. Like he'll get you the 4 yards pretty much every time. He's developed into really good passing downs back because of the pass protection. Like hopefully Allen can do the same thing. Like that just feels like a dude's going to be around for a long time despite the wear and tear that he had. Like ideally he isn't your lead back, so maybe he won't get 250 touches every year. Maybe he'll get 100 touches, 150. Yeah. So maybe last a little bit longer. No, but that's I think it's funny that Jake and I both had him at 6. It's not even like you had him that much slower either, which is great. But anyway, no. So I've said my number 8 is Raleek Brown. I don't remember if either of you two have heard your number.
I have not given mine out yet.
So Jake, you give us your number 8 here then.
Sorry.
You're
good. Well, sticking with Penn State running backs, my number 8 is Nick Singleton.
Okay. So real quick, Jake, Dalton, where do you have him?
4.
Okay. So all right, I have him at 7.
Okay.
So
it's not
I
too
didn't
different.
banish him to my honorable mentions, Dalton. I didn't do that to you. I promise.
He's my lowest ranked day 2 guy for what it's worth.
Gotcha. But no, I have him at 7. So 7, 8, and 4. Not too terrible. But go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. Well, his explosiveness, like I understand why people have him as a day 2 guy. I mean, he's very quick, he accelerates very quickly, good speed. He just makes defenders take bad angles with his speed. Like he can just outrun any angle. I don't think he can really create a lot of things for himself. Like he's very good when he's in open space and he's running straight or running downhill, but he's not that elusive in the open field. Like he's not a guy that's going to make you miss in a phone booth. I don't think he reads or processes things too well. On the zone runs, he just seems a little indecisive there. And then I feel like a lot of times when a defender gets through the line of scrimmage as he's getting the handoff, I just don't ever really have confidence that he is going to make something out of that. Like he's not a guy to me who, when the play is blown up, is going to make something out of nothing. And I think that just kind of ties into the fact that I don't really think he creates a lot for himself. I mean, he doesn't react too quickly in those situations. He's not super elusive, which I do think he's really explosive as a runner, but just in making guys miss, I think he could get a little better there. I think his vision could improve a little. And there are a lot of things he does really well. He's very explosive. When he's going downhill and he can be aggressive, he's very, very good. But I just think if those kind of things get taken away at the NFL level, I'm not sure how well he'll be able to adapt to that.
Yeah, and I'm going to let Dalton go last year since he's the highest on him. But at the end of the day, for me, Nick Singleton is an athlete and not a football player. That's what it comes down to. Because I don't think he's a great football player. I think he's a great athlete. I think because of his great athleticism, he could become a good football player. But especially this past year, and I understand how tough things were at Penn State and his role was diminished and all this stuff, he just kind of didn't do it for me, even more so than he did last year. This class is worse, so I'm going to have him higher than I did last year. I think I had him 11th on our running back rankings going into last year. But ultimately, if he goes to the right place and he's able to find a team that can get him in space, especially as a receiver, I think legitimately he's a good receiving back, like legitimately good. It's just, for me, if you're going to be a 224-pound back, if your best attribute to me by a wide margin is your receiving ability, and you don't really run with the power or the creativeness that I'd like you to with your speed and explosiveness, you're just not going to rank very highly for me. That's ultimately what it comes down to. I think ultimately he's going to have a role, even if it is just as a receiving back in the NFL. I think that could be really good for him early on to kind of get his feet wet, and hopefully he can develop more as a runner. But he, like you said, Jake, he's not creative as a runner. He doesn't force missed tackles. He kind of is a freight train runner that doesn't really hit with the power that you'd hope. So he's going to have to develop a little bit more to his game if he's going to be especially a starting running back, in my opinion. So
that's fair. So yeah, I think I definitely agree with the concerns, especially about the vision, and I don't like that the production dropped off the way it did.
Yeah,
the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And he dropped for me because of the extra year of mileage. I thought he should have come out last year.
That's fair too.
I thought he should have escaped Penn State because they've just not used him well at all.
Probably would have been better for him. Yeah.
I mean, his first 2 years were his best 2 years, and that's when they were doing a lot more of the that T formation they were running with him and Allen in the backfield, and where they were actually putting the quarterback under center and letting him get downhill. It worked. And then they just stopped doing that, despite having Drew Aller at quarterback, who you'd think would function really well in a I don't want to get on a rant about how James Franklin did so well recruiting and then proceeded to misuse everybody recruited. This is not a James Franklin podcast.
That's coming next week.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I just think at the end of the day, some of the things I like, as you mentioned, natural receiver. And he still did average, I think, over 5 yards a carry at Penn State in his career, despite playing in an offense. Didn't cater to his strengths at all. And, at worst, you're getting a great kick returner and a receiving back. But I think he can do a lot more than that, because I think the most important thing is NFL frame at 6 foot, 224, and probably going to run sub 4.4 at the combine. I look at him as, like, at worst, I think you're getting a slightly shorter Latavius Murray. You're getting a shorter. I think that's kind of my comp for him at worst. And, He can return kicks. He can do a lot in the receiving game. And if you get him downhill and you block it well, he's a home run threat on every play. That's kind of my thinking with him. There's a lot that needs to be improved, but it did improve this year. So he did work on some things, like the pad level, especially, I think is the thing that got the most better this year for me. He used to be a very upright runner. But yeah, I just think that, when you're that big and that fast, especially compared to the rest of this class, is kind of why he's still 4 for me. I have a late 3rd round grade on him, so I'm not that high on him, but I just think he's got some of the most home run potential in this class.
Yeah. Also, if you guys hear loud noise in the background, I apologize. It's kind of where I'm at right now. Sometimes the heat takes on. Not sure if it's super noticeable.
Not hearing anything right now.
Cool.
You're good.
All right. Cool. I'm next to the
good.
heater. Yeah, I'm next to the heater, like the water heater and stuff. So like it is what it is. You make do with your situation.
There's
Anyway,
a monster in the other room making a
sound. Yeah, exactly.
Quote, great Christmas movie.
There you go. As far as, like I said, last note on Singleton, I think, again, because of his athletic traits, he's going to rank higher for me than he would otherwise. So there's a lot of potential in him, opposed to, like, again, if you're trying to draft someone who could be like a perennial 1,000-yard rusher, you draft him over like a Katron Allen, because I think the potential is higher. Yeah. But if you just want to draft someone who can play football right now, I would draft Katron Allen. So it kind of is your pick your poison type situation there. So again, the Penn State stuff notwithstanding, we know it's a weird situation with that. Anyway, I think that takes care of our number 8s then, right?
No.
No, you haven't gotten to go yet, Don. Yes, sir.
So my 8, and I think you kind of mentioned, like, if you want guys that have the potential to be a 1,000-yard rusher, take them. That's a lot of my list. So I think that shows. With number 8, I got Mark Fletcher Jr.
Okay. I didn't watch him.
I didn't watch him.
I didn't get to him. So I from what I've seen, I did think I would like him. He just kind of farther down my list of guys to watch, so I didn't get to.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about him, because I'll have to see when I get to.
So Mark Fletcher Jr. out of Miami.
Yep.
NFL frame, 6'2", 225.
Yep.
Great vision, awesome power, pass protection's there. Very good downhill runner, but not very elusive, very linear. Not going to do, and then also not going to do a lot in the receiving game. And the long speed is just kind of average, which is kind of why he's got a 5th round grade for me, unlike a guy we just talked about in Singleton's a little higher because has the home run ability and can catch passes. Fletcher doesn't have that, but I think, again, he's a guy that he's big enough and runs the ball well enough that you can make him your number 1 back if you need somebody. He can do it, and I think that's kind of, worst case scenario, he's a really, really good backup running back in the NFL.
All right. I mean, that's kind of what I've heard about him for the most part. Again, I didn't get a chance to watch him yet, but somebody's got to run the ball, right? So if you get somebody who can at least do that part of the game pretty well, especially as a good athlete for someone that size, I think, honestly, like that's part of it too with him.
And there's a lot of backfields that don't have anybody like him in the NFL.
This is true. To be fair. So that takes care of number 8 for all of us. I think 7. I know Singleton was 7 for me. Did either of you miss your 7 so far?
Yeah, I didn't do my 7 yet.
Okay, neither.
I haven't either.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's catch up with 7 here. Dalton, why don't you just bring us around back for 7 then too?
All right. So very similar guy to Mark Fletcher. I got Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas.
He's another one that I didn't get a chance to get to. I wish I did, because I did want to watch him. How about you, Jake?
He was one of my honorable mentions.
Okay.
So I watched a little bit of him, but not at the time.
Okay. Go ahead, Dalton.
Yeah, he's a fun one. I mean, again, prototypical frame, 6'2", 228. Love the burst, and actually an above-average receiver. And does have some of that breakaway speed and power. And I mean, I'm surprised how much he's flying under the radar, because, I mean, the guy played behind a bad Arkansas offensive line in the SEC and still is averaging over 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
This year.
See that. And he's a isn't he from he was at Buffalo, New Mexico State before?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's looked good this year. The big issues though are ball security. He's got
Yeah.
13 career fumbles.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
That's
tough.
a lot of fumbles.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. And the pass block technique's not great. Doesn't move well laterally. Really,
I mean, 6'2", 228. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Gonna need a pure power scheme at the next level. And also, I mean, a lot of the reason why he is doing as well as he is because he's a 5th-year senior. So he's just an adult grown man running the ball against kids.
Classic.
That's why he's got 13 fumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around the block. It's all right.
Yeah. So he might just be a professional college football player. But, you know,
which is a real thing now. So it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
You can make a living.
You have that much success at Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to pay attention. And I have a 4th-round grade on him right now. So he's towards the top of my day 3 guys.
All right, I'm definitely going to have to watch him.
He's like, his body is just built to be like a physical punishing running back. Like he's big, strong, and I mean, he's always hitting somebody. I think that's why he fumbles so much. Like he's just constantly hitting somebody. He runs strong, but yeah, he didn't crack my list because I think some of his limitations are just too glaring. I guess like as Dalton kind of said, he can't really work in a zone scheme because he can't really cut laterally fast enough. And then in the pass game, he just doesn't offer much. In pass protection, like he has the physicality and the power to do it, but he just doesn't have much technique, and he's not super flexible. Which, you know, given his size and like bulk, like it makes sense, but he's not super flexible against the more flexible edge rushers and stuff. And then he doesn't really have much of a route tree either. Just going along with the lack of kind of quickness and athleticism in that regard. But I probably didn't watch him as much as Dalton did, so I'll have to watch him a little more. But I did like. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's wants to hit people.
Yeah, on the ball security, he just doesn't value the football. Like,
no, I feel like he runs at defenders and like forgets he's holding a football, and he's like, I just want to pummel this person.
Well, yeah, you'll remember him, Shane, if you remember how Arkansas somehow lost to Memphis this year. He was the guy that trying to get the first down for some reason, even though they were already like ready to kick a game-winning field goal, reached out and got the ball knocked out.
Oh shit!
As they were like putting the game away.
Oh man.
He
that's tough.
did one of these where the ball is like he's got the tip covered, but he like went and like tried to reach for that extra like half a yard, which does nothing, and got the ball punched out, and they lost the game because of that.
Remember, you reach, I teach. You can't be doing that, man.
It's like,
no,
that's how they lost to Memphis. Arkansas was cursed this year.
Yeah, don't lose to Memphis. Anyway, Jake, who's your number 7 guy?
My number 7 is Darius Taylor.
Okay, I chose not to watch Darius Taylor because I was gonna watch him last. This is the last player I was gonna watch, and then I had to finish something up before the show. And so I'm curious what you think about him, because he was someone who I'm a little bit familiar with. I watch a lot of Big Ten football, obviously, unfortunately. Wisconsin, yikes, hate them a lot. But anyway, let me know what you think about Darius Taylor.
Yeah,
I think I'm a little higher on him than most, mostly just because I think he's versatile enough that his game will translate well. Mm-hmm. But he has some limitations that I can't put him higher than 7.
Right.
Mostly athletically. Like, I don't think he's going to test very well, and I think that's going to
I don't think so.
Probably hurt his stock a little bit. He's decently quick and he has good contact balance, but he's just not going to be explosive in the NFL. But I do think he will serve a role because his running style I think can fit in like a zone scheme, gap scheme, man scheme. Like, I think the way he runs will translate. He has very good contact balance. It's very hard to tackle him. He almost never goes down on first contact, and he runs decisively. Like, he doesn't waste any time or try to make too many moves, which I think he can't really because he's not as athletic. But because of that, he's just getting upfield. Like there's no bouncing side to side. He's pretty good as a pass catcher, even though he's not super athletic. He's got very reliable hands, and he can catch the ball and turn into a runner from a receiver pretty smoothly. He always falls forward. That was one thing I noted. Pretty reliable in pass protection. He has a couple lapses here and there because his size just isn't that great. But for the most part, his technique is good. He understands where blitzes are coming from, and he does well there. I liked his vision. He finds cutback, but I'm blubbering over my words. He finds cutback lanes very well. Like that was one thing I noticed a lot on film. And he's pretty durable. He did get a lot of touches in college, so that is something I worry about a little bit. But he's a pretty durable back. But yeah, the athletic limitations for me were just too much for me to list him any higher. I think I'm already a bit higher on him than most people, anyways. But yeah, I just think like his ceiling isn't super high, but I do think he could quickly find a role with an offense somewhere.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of what I have heard about him. As far as I know, like looking at it, like kind of what you said is very much the case. Like he's not a home run threat. He's not somebody who's going to create a ton for himself, but he's going to get what's blocked for him. He's going to run hard. He has, I think, a career, if I'm not mistaken, like around like 3.8 yards per carry after contact. So like that's a number you like for someone like him. Reliable receiver for sure. Not particularly dynamic in any way, but will catch the ball for you. I was going to watch more of him directly. Like I said, I've watched kind of enough of him. He's a Minnesota running back.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like if someone really needed to be like, hey, what's Darius Taylor like? It's like, well, he plays for Minnesota. Just imagine that. And they're like, all right, I got you. Like it's kind of what it is. And I hate to do the helmet scouting thing, but sometimes it works, you know. Sometimes it's just kind of how it plays out. So I tend to agree that I think he'd be probably in my honorable mentions if I got to watch him just because of some of the limitations. But he's a good player. I think he'll play the NFL for quite some time if he gets drafted. So
yeah, PJ Fleck likes very, very specific things, and all of his players just look alike every year at a lot of positions.
Anyway, so that's our 7. So 6 for me was Katron Allen. I think one of you maybe had your 6 already, right? Was that?
He was my 6 also.
That's right. Yeah. And Dalton, what do you have here for 6?
So for my 6, I have Jadarian Price from Notre Dame.
Okay.
A little higher for you guys?
Yeah.
He was 4 for me.
He's 2 for me.
Okay.
He's my number 2. I have the spoiler alert.
Wow.
Yeah. He's the Notre Dame draft. Notre Dame running backs is my mantra this year. I'll get to him later in a minute here, but you start then, Dalton. Here, if you for you.
So I mean, love the patience and the speed. There's a lot to like there, and does have plenty of tread left on the tires because he really hasn't started much because he's been behind Jeremiah Love and Audric Estime earlier in his career. But I do like his tough downhill running style. But there are some things that I do worry about right now. He's just too slow to get vertical. And the durability is a little bit of a concern. 5'11", 208, little undersized for like a workhorse back. And also we just don't know enough about him because of the sample size. I think he should stay at Notre Dame for another year. I think he's already declared, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like he could go and be probably a Heisman candidate if he stayed another year at Notre Dame behind that offensive line and with CJ Carr. I don't know. I just haven't seen enough to really like him more than a 4th round grade on him. I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at with him. It's hard to really project what he's going to be at the next level at this point.
All right, Jake. Here because you're a little higher. Got
Sorry, what'd you say?
So you're a little bit higher than
Okay.
him on than Dalton is. So you go next here.
Yeah, I kind of do feel the same about. I just haven't seen enough of him, and with that, there are some things that I'm worried about. So that's why he's a little lower for me than probably Shane has him. Um, his pass protection isn't really anything special. He has very good uh, patience behind the line, like a lot of the time, but I do think sometimes he gets a little bit too patient. Like I think sometimes his read is there and he'll be looking for something better and kind of dance around. So I do like his patience, but I think he could be a little bit more urgent as a runner when it comes to getting through the line. Um, a little bit of uh, concerns about his frame just being a little bit narrow, small, but I mean, he runs very physical. I already talked about his patience. He churns through arm tackles. He's not brought down by light tackle attempts. He's got very good contact balance. Um, and then once he hits the second level, he is able to rip runs off. He's got some pretty good speed there. Good hands as a pass catcher, and he's another guy that I noted. I thought was really good at finding cutbacks. He has good vision there. So I've seen a lot of people have him as the number 2, like right behind Jeremiah Love, but for me, he just has a few concerns that I think maybe could have been answered if I just watched him play a little more, but that's hard to do when you're behind the other, top running back in the country. But um, yeah, there was a lot of things I liked about him. I just kind of what Dalton said. I wish I could see a little more.
Yeah, just to what you said about like playing behind Love before you go, Shane.
Yeah,
he looks like he knows he's playing behind a star, so every run he's trying to take to the house.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. And I'd love to see like what he would look like if he was freed up to be the guy. And I think it could be really good. We just don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
I totally understand all the things you guys brought up for sure. Like I think that it's hard to really argue with a lot about it. The problem is this class is buns, and this dude fucking rocks when he does touch the football. That's kind of it. Sometimes it's not that difficult. When you're doing this, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there isn't other
I get that.
to talk about with him, but like sometimes, like I think he is dynamic as an athlete especially for someone who runs with the amount of power that he's able to run with at his size. He's well built. He has a lot of raw power, probably more to his game as far as raw power than Love does, honestly, in my opinion. Offers versatility as kick returner. Like we've seen what he's been able to do on that side of the ball too. Like if you do want to slow play him because he hasn't had a ton of work as a starter, he's going to impact the game right away as kick returner if nothing else. Especially with the way the kick return rules are now. Like this is a dude who might actually be able to take really good advantage of those. That's something to think about with him too. He has less miles on him. As much as I'd love to see him have a full workload, also I'm kind of like maybe I don't want to see him do that because then he's going to last longer potentially. So there's that element of it. Like kind of like I'm not comparing him to this player, but Josh Jacobs didn't have a lot of workload at Alabama, and that probably has helped him a lot in the NFL probably because we all know that dude rocks still. Good vision, good contact balance, overall really good back. We'll see about the receiving end of things. I think he has potential there. It's just he hasn't been asked to do it because Jeremiah Love is so good in that. It's part of the game, which we're going to talk about that for sure. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We have some guys to talk about. But I just think, again, like this dude just kind of fucking rocks. And it doesn't matter that much to me that we haven't seen him be the guy because, of course, he's not going to be the guy if he's at Notre Dame. But at the same time, we kind of know that like the fact that we were so curious to see what it would look like as a full-time starter tells you all you really need to know about this dude, despite him playing with Jeremiah Love. The fact that people are still excited about him. So at the end of the day, I'm kind of banking on like, I'm not saying he's going to be this player, but there's some flashes, and this player is also a little bit bigger than him, but there's some Nick Chubb flashes in there sometimes, man. I'm going to throw that name out there. Not saying he's going to be that player, just saying that. There's a couple times where I'm like, oh shit, that dude's moving, like for what I was expecting him, like from what I expected from him. So we'll see what happens to him. But yeah, that's why he lands at 2 for me. But I think that takes care of all of our number 6s because Katron Allen is my number 6 too. Let's go to number 5 here. I'll start here. I'm curious where you guys land on this player. Jonah Coleman out of Washington is my number 5.
He's 2 for me.
He's my number 2.
Okay. And guess what? I get it. Honestly, I understand it to a lot of degree. Like the only reason he's where he's at for me is because I feel like he had a little bit of a down year this year and he does have some tread on the tires, but like I do still like him a ton, and I'm not surprised that he's number 2 for you guys. Like that was the player that
I don't like that he's 2 for me, to be clear.
Okay, you don't like
okay. I don't like that he's this high for me.
Fair enough. Okay. But my point is, like, I'm not surprised that that's the case. Like, that's kind of who I thought was going to be number 2 for me going into this exercise. And there's just some guys that I think have some more potential, honestly, than him that ultimately kind of get pushed up the board a little bit. Price being one of those guys, obviously. Johnson, I think, is more of an all-around player for me that I think has a little bit more overall upside. But Coleman, really good player. Wish he would have had a healthier season this year and was able to kind of put the bow on what's been a really good career at the college level with Washington this year. But bowling ball of running back, good power, contact balance. Again, had a bit of a down year, but still looked similar enough to kind of what he looked like last year. I think it's just, again, didn't get as much touches and things like that. Good initial burst, has enough speed to create chunk plays. I don't know how fast I really think he ultimately is. It's kind of hard to tell with him sometimes. Low center of gravity is an asset that helps him handle contact with that 5'9", 228 frame, which is so funny to look at. And honestly, this is kind of the thing that helps boost him up even more for me, and probably would have helped boost him up if I didn't have higher thoughts on some of the other guys. Really good in the receiving game for someone with his build, like really is good there. So not surprised that you guys have him too.
Yeah. For me, what it is the vision. I mean,
very good.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how he finds creases sometimes, but he just finds ways to get 4 or 5 yards minimum every carry.
Yep.
The football IQ is just so high. And he's good enough in pass protection that he could be an every down back, especially with how reliable the pass catcher he is.
Yep.
He's just got that. He's got that Maurice Jones-Drew build kind of going for him.
Oh, yeah, the MJD build.
Now he was a little different because he was even shorter at 5'7", but 210.
He was he was
similar. So almost, a bigger Maurice Jones-Drew somehow.
Yeah.
But like literally the same shape.
Tree trunk ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like the weird build is kind of why I don't like that. I have a late second round grade on him. And he takes it doesn't accelerate super well. Long speed's not great. He might just be a committee leader rather than like
I think so too.
Your number 1 back. But I mean that the vision, he's gonna get yards in the NFL. He's gonna be a productive NFL running back. He's gonna be a guy that if he gets 200 carries a year, you're fine doing that because he's still going to average 4.5 per carry, even with that many carries in the NFL, because he just knows where to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of what Dalton said, where I'm not thrilled that he's my number 2.
Yeah.
Just in the fact that, there's not a top end speed, that he's not explosive. He's not going to like burst through the second level, but his skill set is one that like I know will be good in the NFL.
Yeah.
You guys talked about his vision, also his contact balance.
Yeah,
like
I mean, when you're 5'9", 228, you are the dude creating contact most of the time.
He just absorbs everything. Like he's got good leg strength. He absorbs hits. And that combined with his really good vision is just like that gives him such a high floor to me. And even after contact, he's good at getting yards. And he can also be trusted to be on the field in receiving downs, which was a big deal for me because his route tree isn't super crazy, but he's good on check downs, underneath routes. Like he gets the job done there.
Yeah,
he's reliable in pass
protection.
protection.
So he just gets like 9 yards because no one can tackle him for the first 2 times. So
well, he's weirdly elusive in the open field.
Yeah, it's hard to tackle somebody
he's
that
not
like
he's
can
not
move
explosive
that
in general, but like he's just hard to tackle. Like he just
But he makes people miss. Like I don't in slow motion.
Well, he has that low center of gravity that I think allows him to kind of like
he's good
throw off
he's good like laterally.
Throw off like targeting from guys like where they're trying to hit him at. So it's just hard.
Yeah,
to
if you don't hit him square, he's
you're not tackling him. Yeah, you're not tackling him.
Yeah. So he's good like side to side. Like I think he makes a lot of defenders miss that way, which is interesting because he's not super explosive.
No,
but
not really. But
he can sidestep and yeah. I just know that like I wish it was maybe more exciting back to be number 2 for me in this class, but I know that he will be solid in the NFL. Like there's no questions for me there.
All right.
I like it.
So I think all of our number 4s are also done because moves. Emmett Johnson for me.
Yeah. We're still on 5, right?
Oh, did you not do your 5?
No, I have not.
I still have my 5.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, you guys got it. That's sorry.
So my 5, I'm not sure if you guys have watched this guy. I'm curious if you guys have him on your list. This is like my guy, I think, in this class for running backs. Robert Henry Jr. from UT San Antonio.
God damn. I've not. Dalton. You have all the dudes that I didn't get to, and they're all in your top 10. And now I'm like, well, now I have to go back and watch literally all of them. I have to now.
Of all of them, this is the guy you gotta watch.
I've heard about him for sure. Like I've not seen him, but I've heard of him. Yeah. So I'm very curious.
Finding tape is hard, but even if you just go watch the UTSA Texas A&M game, that's all you got to do.
Okay.
Because that's his best game, which is hilarious.
That is funny. Yeah, not if that's the case. But
the vision is excellent. Accelerates really well. I mean, his feel for zone is just incredible. Moves really well. Has a great jump cut, elusive, patient, almost to a fault. Like I said, best game came against a great Texas A&M defense while playing at UT San Antonio.
16 carries, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It was weird. He's a killer. Also, like, good hands in the receiving game. But part of it is that killer instinct does hurt him at times because he does have a tendency to spend too long hunting for home runs. That's all he wants to do. All he wants to do is go hit dinger.
Okay. Well, I can respect that a little bit,
but he does it a lot. Like, that's the thing. And the issues are, I do think he's very limited at the next level, below average size at 5'9", 205. The long speed is just average. Also, he's another guy that you don't know if what he's doing is just because he's a 24-year-old man playing against 19-year-old kids.
Gotcha.
That's kind of why he's my highest day 3 guy with a 4th round grade.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, when you do that against Texas A&M.
The cuts on this man, holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. I'm just checking him out a little bit. Yeah.
He's a lot of fun, and I think at worst he'd be an elite change of pace back, but I think he could be a lot more than that.
All right. Definitely someone I've added to my list. Who do you have at 5, Jake?
I have Le'Veon Moss at 5.
Okay, so I started to watch him, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this feels like the most man running back I've ever seen in my life. And I feel terrible saying that right now because he's number 5 player. But something about him I was like, no. So, full disclosure, Jake, I'm sorry. But I had to be honest about it.
This is the beauty of, like, just a mid-class, though, is, like, I can have a number 5 that, like, you could say that about,
Yeah, like he'd be in my honorable mentions.
I definitely get the concerns with him. One, durability.
He didn't really play this year, did he? Very much.
He's been injured a lot.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the greatest top end speed, which is interesting because he used to be a sprinter in track. Like
that's what I thought. That's why when I was
on the field, like when you watch on film, he's just not that like I
think that's part of what was messing me up actually.
Things to me is because I remember hearing that he used to like do the 100 in track or whatever, and then I watched him on film and he doesn't look that fast. So that was something that was confusing to me, but
interesting.
Yeah, and he is still a day 3 grade for me, but I think he has kind of like Coleman, where he just has a skill set that I think will translate well. Like he's good. He's very quick in short areas. Mm-hmm. He hits holes at the right time. Like he He doesn't let them stay open too long. He can accelerate quick. He's got good body control going through the holes. Like he can make himself skinny and sidestep through small creases. He's very good in like gap concepts. He runs tough. He runs low, which I like. He doesn't run too high, and he's got good vision. Like he sees cutbacks well. He's very patient at the line, similar to another person named Le'Veon. He does all of those things well enough that I think that can get him a role in the NFL. His ceiling, I don't think is super high. Like the injuries really do concern me with him because most of the last 2 years he really hasn't played very much. But aside from that and just him not being like a constant home run threat, most of the rest of his game I feel pretty confident in. And he's not going to be like a breathtaking prospect when you watch him, but I just think he does enough things well that he will find a role. And in this class, that's enough to get him to 5 for me.
Fair enough. I think I watched the Notre Dame game, and I was like, man, he can't make anybody miss.
Especially when you're watching the Notre Dame running backs on the other side.
Yeah,
like,
it's probably unfair to him that because that's just what it comes down to is like if you're not somebody who I think can create much for yourself, it's gonna be hard for me to view you as anything more than like a true like day 3 guy, like not even like take him in the 4th round, he might be a starter for you. So like I was just like I don't know, I might have to watch more of him because I probably didn't give him enough of a chance, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did you watch him, Dalton?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I've seen bits of him just from watching A&M throughout the year.
Okay. But I think if that's all of our 5s, I think all of our 4s have been set because mine was Emma Johnson. Yours, Jake, I forget, was
Price.
Yeah, Price. And then Dalton, yours was Singleton. Yeah. So we're on to 3.
And I think we all have the same 3.
Is it going to be this?
I think we all have the same 3 and same 1.
I would guess, but I'm afraid to say now.
I mean, do they play in the Big Ten?
They certainly do.
Yeah, then we all have the same guy.
Justice Haynes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Phew. All right, I was worried I was going to be a dumbass. No, I was kidding.
Break out another Le'Veon Moss type of name.
Right, there we go. Like, who? No, I was kidding. No, just that this dude kind of rocks too, not going to lie. I think he's really, really good, actually, just to start things off here. He was somebody that I wasn't sure about when I first started watching him. And then I saw the counter against Oklahoma. I was like, okay, this dude has actual wheels. Now we're getting into the good shit. All right, I can see what's going on here. No, he just, for me, honestly, to make it very simple, and we'll talk more about him with us all having him at 3, has legit explosiveness and a body type that isn't sub 5'9" and sub 200 pounds, which, like, in this class, all right, we can talk. That's a big part of it, honestly, with him. I think that, again, he has legit speed that allows him to take it to the house if given enough space. He's not really, I think, a finesse runner despite his speed and explosion. I think he can get kind of dirty with some of the runs. Like, I don't think he's going to be this guy that has to get to the outside and has to do this just to be productive. So that's really big for him, too. I think he's not like a one-trick pony type of guy. And, again, like, when you have physical tools in this class and you're actually, like, not, again, under 200 pounds, you're probably going to rank highly, I feel like, for most people. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think for me, like, the biggest thing is the vision. I mean, the vision plus the breakaway speed.
Yeah,
it's such a deadly combo.
You get him in the right offense.
Yeah, he just has so much potential to be a problem. Also, love his pad level.
Yeah.
And can contribute in the passing game. You know, it's not going to be like
it's not as good as some of the other guys, but yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing for me that keeps from being too high for me, like he's a 3rd round grade for me.
Mm-hmm.
Average measurables.
Yeah.
I'm curious what he measures out at and runs at the combine. I think the combine could have a big impact on his draft stock. Also, not a ton of wiggle.
No, not super creative.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
he's not really very quick side to side.
Yeah, absolutely. And the pass protection needs a little bit of work to be like a true 3 down back. But I mean, he could also just be like a really, really good leader of a committee. And I think that'd be fine.
It's kind of how I do view him too. I think you pair him with somebody who's like a legit third down player for sure. I think you can get a lot of usage out of him and someone like that. Whether that's like a bigger back with good pass protection or if it's a receiving threat that can, whichever one, I think you get one of those guys with him. That'd be pretty good for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, he has such a fun combination of just vision, top end speed, and just aggression as a runner. Like he just runs through tackles, and when you can do those three things as well as he does, it's hard not to be really excited. Like especially in this class, he has to be a top 3 back to me. He powers through tackles. He can rip off long runs. For me, the reason he didn't crack the top 2 was I was kind of disappointed by what he offers as a receiver. I just kind of thought he was going to offer more when I watched him, and then
with his athleticism, you hope.
And I do think that can be developed. Like it's I'm not super worried about that, but I did notice a little disappointed by that. He's not super quick laterally, and he did battle a couple injuries.
He was banged up this year a little bit too.
Does worry me for his physical running style, because there's a couple running backs on my list that I've noticed they run super physically, but they're able to absorb contact, and he doesn't really do that well. Or he does do it well, but it just kind of takes a little bit of toll on his body. So that is something I'm a little worried about. But I mean, like that combination of those 3 things, it's really hard not to be excited about.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That he's a little like for his running style, his physical style, he is a little on the smaller side for that style at 210. Like I'd like to see him probably put on a little bit more weight, but I also don't know if he can with only being 5'11". That's going to be the tricky thing.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But he's a guy like maybe this will finally be the year where the Niners draft a running back in the 3rd round that isn't ass. And maybe it's
I would
that's
like
what I'm saying. Like maybe this is the moment. Like someone get whatever his face is, I can't remember right now, John Lynch on the phone. Be like, buddy, we know you love 3rd round running backs. We know you love them. But would you love to take one who can play? Yeah. I got one for you.
And then just let McCaffrey play 1st down and 3rd down.
Yeah.
And then just
the rare second down.
Second down.
The rare second down.
Yeah. He's the perfect second down back behind the McCaffrey.
He kind of is, because like maybe you get a trick play and you're happy with it on 2nd down, or maybe it's not a big deal because if it doesn't work, we'll just put McCaffrey out there and 3rd down and figure it out.
Or maybe he's so good that you just turn McCaffrey into the greatest 3rd down back that's ever existed.
You can make an argument he already is that. Especially because he hasn't been that effective in the running game this year.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, what if we run it twice? Especially when Purdy wasn't playing well like he is now. He's playing much better. But like, let's just pound it twice, get 4 yards, and then throw to him for 7 yards on the time. It's pretty much what it was when Mac Jones was out there.
I don't know why they're good.
Dude, beats the hell. This team could be the 1 seed. And they don't.
That is so insane.
Here's the thing: they're going to get blitzed as soon as they have to play people who can play. Defense. As soon as they have to play a defense, that maybe it'll be Seattle, but like this week. But like as soon as they have to play a defense that doesn't just jump the first route they see every time in the 2nd level, they're not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry, there's no way. That defense is so cooked. Like, oh my god. If Caleb Williams' receivers could catch balls at the end of that game, they were going to lose. The Niners were going to lose that game.
Yeah,
that would have been tough. Anyway, now we can talk about what we all really came here for. Jeremiah Love, holy shit! This dude rocks.
Holy
right?
shit is
this
right.
Overall,
yeah, holy shit is right.
I've been thinking about this dude since the Penn State run, Dalton. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ever since that happened. I've seen it played, like there's been different music played in the background during it. I've seen all sorts of versions of that run for like last year, and that's all I've been thinking about. And then I watched him this year. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. No, I have a really funny take from seeing him. I'm curious what you guys think. If you didn't know who Jeremiah Love was, and you were just handed a cut up of his film from this year that got rid of every play where he's lined up at running back and just only cut up of him split out wide.
Yeah.
I think I'd have a day 3 grade on him as a
Probably.
wide receiver. I'd be like, that's a good wide receiver. That's an NFL wide receiver.
Yeah, I would say at least.
I'd be like, this guy's a cool little like weird slot receiver build type. Like, this is
Yeah.
interesting. Like, we could do something with this. It's like, oh shit, he's the running back for this team.
He's the running back, and
Dude,
he's really good at that.
What the hell is going? Like, I have a funny comp for him that we'll get to later that I'm not going to talk about right now. But like, he is so explosive. It's as a receiver too. Like, he can run actual routes. Like, not like, oh, like I'm gonna just go line up at receiver and then catch a screen pass and run forward. No, like he's routing up dudes in the middle of the defense. And there's a couple times, especially the Miami game, I think, where Carr probably should have thrown him the ball earlier on the play because he beat his man in coverage, and just they eventually caught up with them because he threw it late. I was like, this dude could have 100 game anytime he wants to, almost, against the right competition. Like, this is nuts. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, there's no linebacker in the NFL that's going to cover him in man.
Maybe Fred, because Fred's a freak.
Maybe,
but that's like not really fair because like, who else is him besides him right now?
Probably gonna be a Hall of Fame linebacker,
right? Like, it's like no shit, I guess. But other than that.
But I mean, like, there's some safeties that I wouldn't want running with Love. A lot of safeties.
There's actually now, especially, there's a lot of safeties. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, literally the only concern that I had when I was watching him that I wrote down was that
I wonder if it's the same thing as me.
So what I had was I've seen a lot of people kind of talk about his being worried about his frame, like whether he can handle a workload. That's not really a concern for me.
No.
But honestly, the only thing I really noticed was I feel like he doesn't protect himself super well.
No, he needs to stop fucking trying to jump over every player on the other team.
I would stay on the ground.
He would hurdle like
he tried to jump over his own offensive lineman like 4 times. I've seen.
If it was him and a grandma in the open field,
he's jumping
of, like,
over
running
that
around her, he would try to hurdle her. Like
he's
he
jumping
wants to
over
hurdle everything. I worry that he's gonna get like a freak injury doing something like that. That's literally the only thing.
Yeah, I worry about. He's like the freaking running back version of Jaden Daniels. Like, stop doing stupid shit. Like,
I was gonna say Jackson Dart, but Jaden Daniels probably better.
Yeah. But like, I get it. Like, I get it. You're cool. You can jump over all the players. I get it, Jeremiah. It's fine. Najee Harris used to do the same shit on the Steelers. He would try to jump over. I'm like, Najee, we know you can jump. Okay, stop doing that shit. Like, you have, like, he has to cool it a little bit with that. I think sometimes he also does kind of do the big play hunting, but like when you're Jeremiah Love, you're gonna probably do that. Like, whatever. Yeah.
If I was him, I would do it too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what am I supposed to tell him? Like, yeah, if I was a freak, I'd probably do the same thing. So I don't know, but like, my comp for him, and this is a very weird one. You have to kind of think about it for a minute. But what if James Cook was bigger? Like,
like
an actual full size NFL running back.
I think he's a better receiver than Cook, though.
But like you add that in too. But like the explosiveness and the smoothness and the ability to cut and make and route guys up as a running back type of player. I think that's kind of, and we've seen what James Cook has done in the past 2 years. Like, if you got James Cook in the middle of the first round, which is probably what we're looking at for Jeremiah, you're happy with it. Like, that's
he does.
What he's doing.
He does kind of remind me of Cook in like how he changes the speed, like
smooth,
just smooth. Like, turned over.
He decelerates and accelerates very, very smoothly. That does remind me of
very few wasted movements with him. Like, just very smooth the way he moves in and out of just his cuts and everything. Like, that's what I saw a lot of him as a runner. Like, just big, but he's bigger. He's a better player overall, I think. But the same idea of like, this dude's just got the start and the smoothness, the ability to accelerate and run away from people. Like, it's all there with him. Like, this is a true like first round running back prospect. So
yeah, it's funny you mentioned him probably going in like the middle of the first round. I'm curious where you guys have him graded. I have a top 10 grade on him. The last time I didn't give one to Genty for what it's worth.
Okay.
I think the last time I gave a top 10 grade to a running back was probably Bijan.
I think most people did. I certainly would have. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I'm at with him. Like, he is a rare top 10 worthy running back. Yeah. And I think I know where I think I'm worried. I have a team that I think Mike, and I'm curious what you guys think of, like, where do you guys have him graded?
If
I
I'm
have him
doing
top
like,
10 also.
if I'm doing grades for like the overall class, which we've only gotten so far into, like I think he's going to be a top 10 player in the class for me. I have him graded as a first round pick for the purpose of like where I would draft him at.
Yeah,
like,
so
it's and that could mean anywhere from 10 on realistically for the purposes of what we're talking about. But like I think he's going to be a guy that's a mid first round pick to someone. I don't think he's going to go as high as Genty did. Mostly because I think, like, even though I like Genty more than him ultimately,
he shouldn't have gone that high.
Yeah, I still don't think so in the situation that he was. Like, he's still, it's just so hard for the right situation would have to happen where like a random terrible year for a team that otherwise is really good just had injuries or something like that. Which I wonder who I could be talking about with that. Not to piss in anybody's cornflakes here, the two Raiders fans that I do the show with.
Yeah, no, that's the team I was talking about. Yeah,
listen,
that's where he's going.
We know what's going on here. We know what's going to happen, probably, right? Unless someone decides to bite that bullet ahead of them, like, which maybe, I don't know.
Or unless Kansas City falls into Carnell Tate territory somehow, which
maybe
better not happen. The league
better not let that somehow maybe somehow worse. Yeah,
that'd be so depressing.
Yeah, but no, they're gonna get love, and we're gonna get to see Mahomes in the twilight or in the. I think we're officially entering
Raiders fan talking here right now.
Yeah, I do think we are officially entering like the back half.
I guess
Mahomes'
just
career.
Like statistically, probably, like
I
if you're just playing the odds here,
yeah.
Kind of happy.
But I think he's gonna end up becoming this like play action god, with Jeremiah Love. That's what's gonna happen.
Maybe he'll finally fix his ability to throw the ball deep because he has more time like to settle in.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing that everyone is talking about, I think, with Love at this point is like, we know how good he is. Is this going to be the Chiefs or someone else going to do it? Like, me personally, especially given like the quarterback situation and where that's at with this team and the fact that they're like as good as receivers are, like because the quarterback situation is weird, it's kind of made it harder for them to be impactful. He'd make a great fucking Viking. Like a really good Viking.
Well, I could see him.
But
I just remember my comp for Love.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Kind of like a better LaShawn McCoy.
Damn. Listen, as much as I hate McCoy as an analyst, he was an awesome player. It's pretty hard to
that is a really good
better version of him. But I
get what you're saying. He might be better.
I get what you're saying.
As good of a receiver as Shady was, I think Love might be better.
I think he's a better like actual route runner and like if functional like true receiver for sure. Like that's, but then again, not many guys are functional at all with actual receiver stuff that right now. So.
But McCoy did also like actually have an ability to make people miss, which we don't know if Love can because he just chooses to go over instead of around.
I like to think that all of the ability that he's shown with his feet and quickness, I imagine he can. But again, you're right. He's just like, what if I just jump over everyone? It's like, it's one of those things where like
I want to hurdle.
Yeah, just because you can do something, eventually, like we know you can. Like maybe just keep it in the back pocket, you know.
Yeah.
Like we know that you can do that.
He's gonna be one of those guys that like every week you're just gonna see him like when Jaylen Warren does this a lot where he'll try to hurdle and the defender will just stand up.
Yeah.
Just, like I feel like we're gonna see that a lot with him and like the
and he should take advantage of that by like making them think he's gonna do it and then just going right around him. Because he could.
Because eventually he's going to try to hurdle somebody, and someone like Fred or Derwin James is going to obliterate him.
Yeah, or they're going to like make him flip like head over heels like 3 times in the air by like running through his legs and just knocking him out of the game. It's like, dude, stop it.
At some point his rookie year, he is going to get helicoptered.
Oh yeah, like, there's no doubt about it.
He is going to have a hilarious rookie moment where he just spins.
He's gonna do the damn like John Elway at the goal line in the Super Bowl, but like as a running back,
but on a 3-yard carry.
Yeah, but there's also a chance he might be the only other dude on the planet who could pull off the Saquon Barkley back hurdle thing. Like, he might be the only other dude who could on this planet who could do that shit on purpose or on accident. So maybe we'll also get that moment. I don't know.
I think his might be on accident just because I don't think anyone on the planet has Saquon's body control.
No, that was still that's still a play where like I every so often I think about it. I'm like, that shouldn't have ever happened in the NFL. Like, there's no, I don't care that I think it was against the Jaguars, right? But like, I don't care that it was against. It could be any team in NFL history, like in the past, especially like, we'll say since 2000. No team should allow someone to do that to them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Yeah, no, it is outrageous.
Yeah.
Like
the audacity to even try it is insane.
As a defender in that situation, like this guy just jumped over me backwards.
The defender must have been like, "What the fuck just happened to me? What?" No wonder no wonder it happened. He wasn't prepared for it, because why would you prepare for someone to hurdle over you when they're facing the opposite direction? Like, why would you think that's happening?
Like, imagine going over that in film the next day.
I think if you're a coach, you're like, dude, honestly, I have no notes for you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to tell you.
What
would I tell you to do differently next time?
You don't have to worry about that happening again for the rest
Yeah, watch the hurdle when the guy's not facing you. What am I supposed to tell you to do? Like, I don't. Jesus Christ. Anyway, no, but yeah, Love certainly number one player for us. Yeah, I would say he's definitely one of the better running back prospects over the last half decade for sure, in my opinion. We'll see ultimately kind of where that shakes out with this class, because again, unless maybe we'll feel differently by the time we get through it, and there's plenty of time for them to show differently. But with this being a little bit of a weaker draft class, maybe he does go almost as high as Genty. I kind of don't want him to, though, because if he goes to a shit team, no offense, guys, it's not going to go that well for him, obviously, year one, which will make people have conversations and blah, 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 blah. Ashton Genty's still one of the best at making people miss in the league, so don't worry about it too much, guys. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you just don't want to get put in the absolute worst possible situation. Like Genty did. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Where a man who barely knows where he is most days has his son be the offensive line coach. And yeah.
By the way, next week we're going to be doing tight ends, and even though we haven't watched enough players to like do a true like what we would do necessarily,
we're going to do it anyway.
Your first round mock draft.
Love it.
And there's a good chance, I believe last I heard 80% roughly chance, that your Raiders, Dalton, Jake, will be making the first selection in 2025 NFL draft.
I already know we're putting.
How exciting!
There.
Yeah, you're definitely drafting Kenyon Sadiq. No, anyway.
I can't wait to talk about him next week.
Oh boy, yeah, we'll talk about it.
I mean, he is the embodiment of this entire tight end class, and not a good way.
All right, we'll talk about that next week. But no, yeah, we will be doing tight ends next week here. We will be doing our first round mock draft at least. We'll be doing some different cool mock draft formats, similar to what we did on the show last year, but we'll get into that. But that's all for us with the running backs. Again, not the best class in the world, but still some fun guys to talk about. We'll see where these guys ultimately line up as we get through the draft process more. I need to watch clearly some guys that Dalton watched that I didn't get a chance to watch. Jake, I feel like you feel the same there. But yeah, that'll do it for us.